Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another Glaive Keo video. And with this one, I do believe that my man is returning to his roots. One of the OG Genshin Impact unenjoyers is back at it again to talk about version 6.6. Genshin Impact 6.6. You might know it as Genshin Impact 66 polls and 2 new characters. Sorry, that's actually misinformation. I think it's closer to 64 polls and 2 new characters. Something that Genshin Impact has done plenty of times in the past, but it seems like the community is crashing out in a much higher volume this time. So who actually knows what the real reason is? Maybe one of the OG haters of Genshin Impact will. So let's go ahead and see what Glaive Keo has in store for us with this one, ladies and gentlemen.
The new live stream for Genshin Impact was supposed to be a breath of relief. After a down period of probably not much content, players were excited to see what we will get next patch.
Genshin's on what they call their legendary filler arc. So essentially, when Genshin Impact surpasses like version 4, probably version 3 of their story, they go into like consecutive filler patches that end up being like the worst time of the year for the player base. It's no surprise at all why the months of like April to like July are always the worst in the gacha space. That's because Genshin Impact is on like the filler arc season. The fans get antsy. All of like the story lore nerds start having like schizophrenic breakdowns because nothing has mattered in the game for like a 3-month span of time. And the end result is you get more aggressive gacha tribalism. You have more schizo posting about every other gacha game. You start even having internal civil wars in the Hoyoverse community, where like Genshin players start getting like freaked out and start attacking HSR, start attacking ZZZ. It goes crazy. Every single summer, this happens. Kids are back from school too. I don't know why Hoyo does it.
Perhaps new events or very anticipated new characters. And God help me, a regional expansion. But by the end of the live stream, excitement turned to disappointment, and what was supposed to be a treat turned into a reality check. For most of the community, this isn't just another filler patch, it is the straw that broke the camel's back.
And that's what the big issue is. Hoyo has been trying to sort of like hide what these filler patches are, but it's obvious. Hoyo turns down the poll income. Hoyo reduces like the number of events that you can do. Hoyo makes the summer months of this game typically like the worst out of all of the ones that they can traditionally do. Because guess what? It's summer. Kids have like more disposable income and stuff like that. They're like working summer jobs, doing all of those things. They're trying to get some dollars into the game.
Suddenly, the words that came out from the developers a while ago conflict with the reality of the situation right now. They said they aren't doing this for the money and
This guy is... Congratulations to this dev on his weight loss, but all the weight went into his nose because he lies more than Pinocchio.
They are apparently listening to the player base, but now it looks like the devs listen to the players' wallets more than actual feedback. By giving us only 60 polls per patch, they are forcing us to...
Sorry, my 64, it was misinformation too. It's actually closer to 60. I think a game that doesn't give you enough polls to at least soft pity on any of the banners in a single update is like actually ridiculous. You need to have enough to at least hit soft pity a single fucking time, bro. Genshin soft pity starts at like 75, and the hard pity's at 90. Giving 60 is criminal.
Pay money to attempt to get the new characters. They said they wanted this game to last for 20 years, but let's be real here. Who wants to play a game that is constantly getting worse for 20 years?
And that's also the other big thing. Bro, when Wuthering Waves released, Genshin did like this fucking double take, bro, where they were like, oh, Genshin released, let's start putting some quality of life in the game. Then it was like, just kidding, we're gonna introduce the most power creep we've ever seen. Wuwa released, then we got Natland, and like the start of Natland seemed okay balance-wise. Then they released Mavawika and Sitlali, and they were just like go fuck yourself, bro. I've never seen it before. Like straight up, the balance of the game was like all right. Then 5.3 hit, Then 5.3 hit. And these guys just stopped caring. And bro, that was like, honestly, somewhat close to the Wuwa anniversary. Or sorry, Wuwa 2.0 releasing. I think they were just like, damn, Renacita's kind of popping off. Let's just fuck Genshin.
Everything just sounds kind of...
Let's just go milking mode. Renacita and Wuwa 2.0 are so good. Fuck it. Add 50% damage multipliers to Mavuika. Fuck it. Just add 50% damage multipliers to her. Let's milk this shit. We're cooked.
ironic now. The character that was supposed to be a standard unit ended up being a limited banner character in...
Does everyone know for certain that this motherfucker Lohen was supposed to be standard? Like, is that actually confirmed? Because as far as I'm concerned, wasn't it like the opposite with like, the really shitty Pyro Puncher? Not Denya. What's her name again? Daya.
Instead,
wasn't Daya supposed to be a limited character, then she was standard? Bro, I think it's just a bunch of people making shit up.
why?
Money!
Nobody knows. Everything is a bit of a mess. There is a lot to unpack here, from the characters to the Primo Gem grind, to the way rewards and gameplay are slowly being taken away by Miliastra Wonderland. If you want to see more content from me, feel free to smash the like button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell icon to keep up with my videos. Without wasting any more of your time, let's just...
I think bro's sub count has gone up by like 500 since making that intro. Nice, bro.
This all started with one of the new characters coming next patch, Lohen. Usually you can tell exactly...
I hate this character so much because, like, Lohen just reminds me of, like, the first OC some, like, weeaboo nerd made when they were 13 years old.
The darkness consumes me. I am your worst nightmare.
Like, bro, it's, like, so gay.
what type of banner a character is going to.
Like, dude, the design is so gay.
Just by looking at the calculations, and Lohen's calculation
The fuck is this?
screamed standard banner character. The
Okay, so basically, the main takeaway over here is that Lohen is a standard character because he's shit. That's fair enough.
reason is because his first and second constellations, basically the power-ups,
Wasn't Varka also supposed to be a standard character because his multipliers were shit? Sorry, wasn't that exactly what... Sander! Like, wasn't that what he was supposed to be? Everyone said Varka was supposed to be a standard character, and now everyone's saying Lohen's supposed to be... How about the leakers are just making shit up? Nah, they said burn! They said he was gonna be standard. But instead, he's a limited character. So, maybe it's just leakers being retarded. Shit!
you get for pulling him more than once only offer a 10% damage increase. For a standard banner character, that is normal, because you are expected to get dupes of the character over time.
True, but standard character dupes are always still bad.
But for a limited banner character, that is weirdly low. For context, characters from the last few regions like
You wanna know who's missing over here that I don't see for some reason? Stormwind!
Fontaine or Natlin usually see a 20 or 30% jump for those same upgrades.
No, where is Varka though?
In other words, he was built to be average. He was designed to be someone you can get for free on a selector in next year's anniversary.
To be fair, they did need a new cryo character on there. They did. Cause like Chi-Chi is buns.
Or by losing a 50-50 on a limited banner character you actually wanted. All we're waiting for is just the confirmation, because usually, when a character is going to the standard pool, they announce the banner and then mention they will be added to the permanent roster in the next update. But
you wanna know what I love the most about Genshin Impact? It's them releasing units that are meant to go right into the standard banner, and then those units have a signature weapon that is never available. That to me is the funniest fucking part of like this design, is that they have somebody designed Daya's signature weapon. Somebody designed Tikhnari's signature weapon. Somebody designed Mizuki's signature weapon. And like, what happened to them?
this time, we are not getting that, and that omission instead confirms that he is a limited banner character, which feels like a bit of a mess given how the community was mentally prepared.
I think the community is just full of we're talking about the Genshin Impact community, so it's not even I think. I know the Genshin Impact community is full of dumb children. And this is the thing. Imagine, this is like kind of like the Lohen situation. Imagine that you're an autistic 5-year-old and you heard that your parents are getting you a present. Your parent comes back home with an ice cream cake, which most 5-year-olds should be excited about. They should love an ice cream cake. But because you're an autistic 5-year-old, keyword autistic, you thought you were going to Disneyland. And so you get mad that your parents bought something amazing like an ice cream cake because you thought you were going to Disneyland instead. When, like, you really shouldn't be getting that mad. And great, Hoyoverse put out another mid-looking character design that looked like garbage. Like their last 5 have looked like garbage. And you expected this garbage character to be different. What about Lohen was like so much different than like the other units released before where he had to have been standard? Because you were wrong about Varka, but then you remember the community's full of retarded children, so it's just like...
There is a theory going around that is pretty hard to ignore. A lot of people think Hoyoverse saw how much everyone loved Lohen's design and his burst animation and decided to put a price tag on it. They thought people were obsessed with him regardless of his power level.
I bet that's a dude.
So they apparently decided to squeeze more money out of players who were already sold on his aesthetic. If you haven't realized yet, you are being asked to pay premium prices for a standard quality product.
I feel like that viewpoint maybe doesn't make that much sense because wouldn't they just have made him stronger then if he originally was supposed to be standard? And then people wanted to pull him, wouldn't they just make the character stronger so that people then would pull... This is my take. This would be like you are a farmer and you sell products at the farmer's market. One of the things that you sell at the farmer's market is like homemade pastries. One of your pastries is like made out of shit. It takes you like half the time to make this pastry compared to the other ones, and it uses a bunch of leftover ingredients. So you just make it as like a cost king saver. But then the shit one, the one that's cheap, ends up, like, being kind of popular. So, like, would you intentionally keep it shitty, or would you, like, try to improve the recipe of the one that ended up being popular? Like, you would try to improve it so that it sells even more, right? Or would you keep it shitty? This is like Hoyoverse finding out something is popular and is going to sell a lot and then keeps it shitty. I know we're all about making fun of their business decisions and their business moves. This is just not knowing business at all.
Sounds like a typical Dubway approved move for me. Nothing new here, folks. But because now that he is limited, you have to compare him to other limited banner characters. And he is just not built to win that fight. Skirk is literally right there, about to him, and she is about 30% better than him in freeze teams. So
Well, maybe Lohen doesn't have the restriction of only being usable in freeze teams.
Sandrone is rumored to be a cryo DPS, and she is coming in the very next patch after this, and she is almost guaranteed to be better than Lohen. Why would anyone spend hundreds of dollars worth of pulls on a character who is just straight up worse?
I mean, this could also be the thing too. Hoyo's designing characters to be skipped. Yo, at a certain point, Genshin was known as the game that had reverse power creep. And so I guess Genshin hasn't really left the roots of reverse power creep. It's just, you can now get baited into pulling absolute garbage. Which is kind of like the de-evolution of most gacha games in particular, right? You know a gacha is going downhill when they feel the need to keep adding characters to the game, but they just intentionally treat some characters as literal second-class citizens. While other units get to be broken forever. Other units get to be must-pulls forever.
went from being a win for the player base to being a trap, and not the good kind of traps. But that is just one part of the story. You will get even madder when you hear the number of pulls you're getting for this patch, because there is literally no other way to describe it other than completely insulting. If you want to guarantee a single character and their signature weapon, a C0R1, you might have to spend up to 340 pulls.
Lose a 50-50, lose the 3367.
That is because if you lose the 50-50 on both banners, the character...
It's a 3367 on the second banner, by the way. Not a 50-50, Glaive. Get your info straight. You're making Genshin look too good, buddy.
Guarantee is 180 pulls, and the weapon guarantee will cost you another 160 pulls. The weapon banner works with fate points, which doesn't carry over to the next banner.
I'm just so surprised that they still, to this day, need to make Genshin's weapon banner the shittiest one in every gacha ever. Why doesn't the fate point carry over? Why does it just disappear? This would be like your 50-50 guarantee disappearing between banners. Like, why doesn't it carry over? In every other game, it carries over. In HSR, it carries over. In ZZZ, it carries over. In WuWa, it's not needed. So, like, why doesn't it carry over?
So if you don't have the full 106...
Can't be worse than AKE. It can, because AKE's weapon banner lasts for at least 3 versions. Or, sorry, three other banners passing by. So it's like, yeah, it's still technically better.
Pulls ready as you're attempting to get the weapon, you might be throwing your resources into a black hole. So
I think you'd prefer having three banners over a I don't even know. Yeah, no, Genshin is just bad.
Tallied up, you will need 54,400 primo gems for just one guy and his stick.
Bro, if I had that much astrite, I would be debating if someone was trying to S6 a unit. I'm sorry. The amount of primo gems he just talked about to guarantee an S0R1 or a C0R1 unit, bro, that's like what people S6 units with in WuWa. I swear I saw somebody S6 with like 70k astrite before or some shit like that.
Massive ask in any version, but it is especially tone deaf when the actual income for version 6.6 is only 60 pulls.
Wait, so you need like the Welkin Moon to hit soft pity, like barely? Wait, sorry, so like you would need 6 of these versions to get S0R1 in the worst case scenario. You would need 6 Genshin 6.6s. 6 6.6s to guarantee one character and their weapon if you lose both 50-50s. Or sorry, the 50-50 and then the 34-67.
You've got the very anticipated Nicole.
Yeah, that's some shit.
And Lohen as...
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
The new limiteds.
But this is the thing. And this is why I feel like these concerns can't actually be this big across the player base. This is how I know the pull count isn't the straw that broke the camel's back. That this is just Genshin Impact players getting mad at the Cyberpunk collab. You want to know how I know? Nobody wants these units. There's not really any reason to get mad over a low pull count when you don't want the units in the patch. You know you don't want these two. You know that you don't actually care about skipping these units. So to see the community crash out at this high of a level over not having that many pulls in one of the most skippable updates the game has ever seen, you know the real reason for the crash out is Cyberpunk. You know the real reason for the crash out, ladies and gentlemen, is Cyberpunk. And angry Genshin Impact players seeing that they get another mid-garbage filler patch with a story nobody cares about, no events, no content, while WuWa gets the best collab in gacha history. And a free Rebecca. And all they have over here is Alloy, who has AIDS.
Limiteds, massive reruns for Mavuika and Durin, which are meta characters, but the game is only giving you about 20% of what you need to actually get those characters.
Nobody wants the characters anyways. But I do agree it's low pull count.
And potentially weapons. To even have those 300...
You know nobody's pulling fucking Lohen's weapon, bro. Bro, if you pull in Lohen's weapon, you're on your 13th reason why.
140 polls ready for the new updates as a free-to-play, you would have had to start your grind all the way back on December 3rd when the 6.2 update launches. That is a total of 168 days of perfect attendance. And
What if I just get lucky, though? Then that means I can get like 90 days of my life back. You know what you can do in 90 days? You can wait for a copyright strike to expire. Mr. Pokey, please send me the waiver of service forms for the CCB proceedings. Thank you.
I'm not just saying just get into the game, do dailies, and get out. I am saying you have to grind religiously to get these polls, sitting through hours of story yapfest with 0 skip buttons, clearing the hardest stages of the endgame, without having the newest units the endgame is clearly pandering to.
You should have shown Stingy an Onslaught and this retarded Gecko having 10 Geo Shields. And then with those 10 Geo Shields, you deal 10% of the damage through the shield. Unless you use Geo damage, in which case 70% of your damage goes through. So the fight is basically impossible unless you use Geo characters. How about that? How about showing off that Winglaive?
100%ing the new regions and opening all of the common chests on weird high areas that only give you 2 Primo Gems.
Misinfo, it's just 1.
Playing every single event, no matter how boring.
Why is he showing Milliaster Wonderland gameplay in here?
No matter how repetitive, you cannot afford to miss a single poll. If you don't pay the game money, you are paying with your life. And
they're doing this on purpose. Remember, guys, because it's summer. And they know these kids be having too much fucking free time. And they be spending all their free time in this stupid Genshin Impact game. And then they're going to be playing this game and be like, where are all my fucking pulls? And then they're going to go put on their +5 stealth boots and go steal their parents' credit card because Hoyoverse isn't giving any pulls. Then go get beat up like Mr. Pokey when he was a kid and did the same thing.
I just don't think that is good for the players' health. People are also very angry about the rewards. Usually there's a main event for the updates, and it gives out a new 4-star weapon, even if the weapon was niche.
Like Pokey or Gotcha Smack, they both got beat up when they were kids for stealing money from their parents. Allegedly.
Or a bit weak, it could be a tangible tool for players who don't spend money. Well, this time, they have replaced the weapon entirely with a skin.
You know you guys don't care about this. You wanna know how I know? Because these weapons are all fucking dog shit. These weapons are more of a drain on your account with the resources that it takes to take them up to level 90. Half the individuals that play these fucking games, they leave all these event weapons at level 0. Or level 1. The only one that gets used is Festering Desire on Farina. And Festering Desire came out in like the first 90 days of the game. Shut the fuck up.
A skin doesn't fix the fact that your characters need actual gear to function in a game that is getting harder over time because of power creep. What is more offensive is that it is not even a particularly creative one. It is just a reskin of the Melusine Claymore we already have.
I thought it was the same weapon. Guys, and this is what I mean. Let me look up the Melusine Claymore. You think anyone is using this shit? You think anyone is using this shit? Attack is increased by 12%. That's not all. The support from all the Melusines you've helped in Mercy Village fills you with strength. Based on the number you've helped, your attack is increased by an additional... You're not using this thing. No one is using this thing. Leveling this up to level 90 is more of a drain on your resources than just leaving it at 0. Who the fuck is using this? Who the fuck is using this? Navia? What is she using this over? What the fuck is she using this over? What, like a gray weapon? Yeah, you wanna know what I'm using in Wuthering Waves? Emerald of Genesis.
You know what? If it's a good skin, people might let it pass, but it's clearly not. They are also always doing this weird thing where they hype up increased generosity for events that are actually just stingy. Like the free Constellation events updates. The live stream made it sound like this massive upgrade to the reward pool, but
see, you can get mad about this one.
The reality is that the extra payout is literally merely
This is just embarrassing. I'm sorry. 20 Primo Gems a week means you get 1 pull in 8 weeks. which is about the duration of one patch. So, like, they're giving you... It would be just simply easier for the player if you just got one pull a patch. 20 Primo Gems means 8 weeks for one pull. Bro, this looks like... What's even the point? Bro, you could have the fucking Astrite Fairy come over. The Primo Gem Fairy come over and suck like a mosquito 20 Primo Gems out of your account every week and you would not notice. Like, if you got 20 Primos suctioned out of your account every week, you would not notice. Bro, who's gonna notice 20 Primo Gems? Bro, it's like Robin Hood, but he's 1 centimeter tall. What the fuck is that? Take from the rich, give to the poor? What is this?
20 Primo Gems and a single transient resin.
If you're a broke boy, just say so. Anyway.
A temporary energy refill that expires if you don't use it within a week. 20 Primo Gems is not even an eighth of a single pull.
It is an eighth. It's exactly an eighth, actually. Glaive.
And you can't even make the energy refill permanent?
No, because they got to keep you playing. They're simply taking a page out of AKE's book. Hoyo really liked the idea of expiring sanity. Hoyo really liked what AKE, like the cut on AKE's jib, bro. They really liked that shit. Hoyo finally saw, wow, a company with worse quality of life than us. Huh, a company that managed to fuck their players harder than we did. Let's also give expiring resources and no fucking pulls and then drip feed it to them like we're treating diseases in like fucking Africa and we're trying to save money. That's what it fucking feels like.
Expires if you don't use it within a week. 20 Primo Gems is not even an eighth of a single pull. And you can't even make the energy refill permanent. To act like that is a major improvement feels like they are limit testing our intelligence.
They saw that AKE was able to get away with it. Just basically shitting down their players' throats relentlessly. Refusing to put in any quality of life. Literally nothing. And then the players don't care. They are so caught up on sniffing hypergriff farts. So fucking caught up on it, bro. That they just let them do whatever they want.
Do they think we are actually that stupid? And you're just gonna let this slide? They're calling you stupid.
AKE proved that your devoted player base of shills is actually retarded. I hope we understand that. AKE proved that you can regress. You can have the most outdated gacha, the most outdated mechanics, shit that looks like it's a decade old and should have been abandoned years ago. You can just put that all into your game, and if you have enough CCs, enough sponsored CCs telling you it's fine, you have enough sponsored CCs telling people, oh, just ignore it, just judge it for yourself. You want me to show you the results? Unfortunately, industries are late, and Hoyo is a late adopter on AKE's antics. And the reality is that Hoyo is going to be like, damn, wait, maybe we shouldn't have copied the game that everyone is dropping en masse. Maybe we should not have taken inspiration from the title where, bro, I'm sorry. Look at that, man. Bro, what is this? 361 average viewers on Monday, May 4th, 2020. Bro, that's like 5 days after NTE's release. How is it so bad? Sorry, I need to see what the views are for this title real quick. Hey, can we hit double digits, though? They hit double digits earlier over here. Is that 94 viewers, 32 channels, 3 active viewers per channel. Is that here looking like fucking Do It Night Abyss? Oh, yeah, I remember saying this game was going to have the same trajectory as Do It Night Abyss. Oh, looks like Say was right again. Ooh, got him.
They think you are dum-dums who will just take anything they give you, and you're just gonna let that slide? The most telling part about this whole disaster, though, is that the players have completely stopped defending the multi-billion-dollar nuclear reactor-owning company.
Sometimes the Hoyoverse community kind of reminds me of, like, Alcoholics Anonymous. It's like all these guys, they know they have a problem, but, like, and they keep talking bad about the problem that they have, but then they go home and then they end up drinking anyways. That's what it's like every single time with like the mature Genshin Impact community that actually talks about the game. Bro, it's like they all know they have a mental illness. And that's one of the scariest parts about it. They all know.
Usually, a big part of the community would be the first to jump down your throats if you criticize the game, even a little bit. But now they are literally inviting players from Honkai Star Rail, Wuthering Waves to come over and trash it. It is because the comparison is just getting impossible to ignore when you see other games giving out top-tier limited collab characters for free.
And the collab actually doesn't look like a piece of shit. I'm telling you guys, Genshin has done everything that they're doing before. Everything that people are bitching and moaning about in 6.6, that people are calling the worst thing ever, that you need to bomb Google Classroom again. They've done this like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 fucking times already. Lohen is not the straw that broke the camel's back, brother. It's Cyberpunk. And if Kuro, their trailer came out a week later, if their trailer came out a month later, if Genshin's update was a week earlier, we would not have had this polarizing of a response. You have the Cyberpunk reveal, then the Genshin Impact livestream afterwards, and suddenly, right, when it was like 60 polls, no problem. It's okay, honey. You could do better next time. That's what we were treating Genshin like before. Then you have the Cyberpunk collab. Then Genshin shows their 60 poll live stream. Suddenly I'm Mr. Pokey's mom, bro. Disciplining that shit. You already know.
Every update, you will be given free polls just for logging in, a skip button, and then you look at Genshin charging 340 polls for a guy whose own fans are calling him a bricked poll.
So who cares if you don't have the polls to skip him? Like, if you all know he's a piece of shit character that's trash, why would you complain so much about not having polls in an update? Oh, look, guys, bro, it's like you got mugged as you're on your way to the 7-Eleven, so you have no money, but then the 7-Eleven also got robbed. Would you be that mad? Like, you go to the 7-Eleven and there's nothing there, but right before you went inside, you got mugged, so you got nothing too. You wouldn't be that mad about getting, about like the 7-Eleven being empty, right? You wouldn't be that upset that the 7-Eleven has nothing in there. You weren't gonna buy anything anyways. It's the same with this shit and Nicole.
There is a line that the devs shouldn't ever cross, and they have gone past way that line, by the way, but they are only getting called out now. Now they're hoping that boycotting the game and talking badly of it are the only things that might actually force a change.
Wuwa just needs to do another collab. I'm telling you, bro. Imagine Wuwa does like a fucking... What would be a franchise that has Hoyoverse crashing out? Not Witcher 3. I don't even think like Witcher 3, bro. It needs to be like some weeb shit. It needs to be some straight up like weeb shit. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer. They do Demon Slayer, bro. Or JJK. Oh, they could do JJK too, actually. The problem with JJK, though, is that the models don't have enough on them. That's the issue. The JJK models are like naked, bro. Something they did with that anime's character design is that everyone just looks the same, outfit-wise. They all just wear like the thing. They all just wear like the uniform. Yeah, they would need some unique outfits for all the people. But yeah, basically, I'm just saying, imagine if it was an IP that was like, I guess, a bit more well-known among anime franchises than like Cyberpunk. And just imagine the Genshin player reaction if they're crashing out this hard from Cyberpunk.
It makes that 20-year plan the developers bragged about look pretty ironic. They say they want the game to last 2 decades, but they are currently destroying their reputation to the damn ground.
Now that's Wuwa. Wuwa's doing that. Again, this is Genshin. Genshin, they've done this plenty of times already. It's simply, Genshin thought that they could rest on their laurels, keep everything low quality, keep doing business as usual, maintenance mode, milker mode, no longer any pressure at all to innovate. And then this Cyberpunk collab came in, and I feel like it hit them like a wrecking ball. I would actually not be surprised if, like, Genshin HQ, Hoyoverse is literally panicking following the Cyberpunk collab reveal. No lie, I think they actually are.
If you're actually planning for a 20-year legacy, you don't burn your player base's trust for profit. You are being asked to play like it's a full-time job for rewards that are just stagnant every year, and it feels like they're trying to see how much we will tolerate them before everything falls apart.
Just stop playing Genshin and play better games.
Years and months of resentment, and this update became...
Stop letting Genshin know that the bare minimum, low effort garbage, maintenance patch after maintenance patch, basically looking like the game is like being ran by a skeleton janitor crew. Tell them that that isn't enough for a game that takes up this much of your time. You spend this much money on it. You've been playing it for this long. Bro, they don't care. Bro, they haven't cared.
The straw that broke the camel's back. With this whole drama, when you look at the bigger picture, it is not really about one guy not being on the standard banner. It is a realization that to enjoy Genshin Impact on paper, you must treat it like a job, which is counterintuitive. Religiously grinding for half a year, getting...
But I'm an AKE player. Yeah, I'm an AKE player. I make 50,000 a year, but I still work 3 jobs.
Paid merely 60 pulls per patch, and saving all that for a singular guarantee.
AKE is just preparing people for like the universe where you actually do work 3 jobs for a singular living wage. Now that you think about it, no, AKE with... I should stop talking about that. I might get put on like a list somewhere. I think I found out like this is like that one scene in The Matrix.
Character and their signature is starting to amount to nothing in value, when newer characters won't even work without pairing it with an expensive team. At one point, even playing the game at all stops making sense.
And with 4 teammates, and one of the most expensive banner systems ever, and some characters literally just being EQ bots. Yeah.
Genshin spends years building a world that people genuinely want to escape to. They have got the lore, the music, and the cutscenes that make you want to stick around for a longer time. But with version 6.6, they have made the rents for staying in that world nearly impossible to pay. You shouldn't have to treat a video game like a 40-hour work week just to keep up with the meta, especially...
Well, if you treat Genshin like a 40-hour work week, you will get awarded with 60 pulls. So, yeah, it's... What do you want me to say? That's just like, bro, you're working for less than minimum wage.
When the rewards are just reskinned claymores and transient resin. They have genuinely built up this fan base brick by brick, but they are pricing out the loyalty of the people who actually care about it. And I just think that is unfair. But I'm curious if you agree with me or not. Let me know in the comments below. I'll try to read everything. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to keep up with my videos. But that is all.
All right, awesome video by Glaive over here. But I will disagree with him on, again, like I think the main crux of the argument over here. Glaive, they've already done this shit before. They've already done it. Maybe even a dozen times. Where they have no fucking polls. People complain about it. But they've never complained this much before. Because I really don't see anything in 6.6 that's that egregiously bad. That's that actually dog shit. I've actually seen situations where the patch was worse. But there wasn't even close to this much of a crash out. Maybe even like less polls or the same number, but like less content, less things to do. It's because people are seeing now in full Ultra HD. Wow. Hoyo really does not give a single flying fuck about the game. They haven't cared in a long time. Now they're seeing what a developer looks like when they do care about putting out quality updates. And they're just like, how is Hoyo refusing to do this when they make so much money? When they have so many resources, when they're making nuclear reactors, doing all this stuff, joining the CCP, doing all of that, but they can't put out a single good Genshin patch, when that game makes them billions of dollars. It's a bit rough, isn't it? I think that we're going to see this dynamic develop even more, kind of like moving forward. Should be fun to see what the Hoyo community actually looks like after version 3.4 drops. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.